So I was waiting to do this and I wanted to get it on video. I wanted to show you how easy it was to update the maps onto the app and also to put it onto your watch. Now, if you go into your watch here and you go into the apps and you go into maps, which is where you would access them. And if you're doing this for the first time, this is what you get. There's no data on here, right? So we got to get that onto the app and then onto the watch. Okay, so let me show you how easy that is to do. So this is the Zepp app, and you just have to go into here and you go into the watch. This is the TREX 3, obviously, you would be going into now. And then you got to go into your app list here, and then you got to go into map management right here. Click on that. Now, of course, I have to blur this out, because I can't have anybody knocking on my door and telling me how crappy my videos are, right? So, but all the map is right here, and it's just auto-populates for your home area here. So you have 3 options here. You got the base map right here, which is, just your regular map. And then you got your ski map. If you want to download an area before you go skiing, it will have all the trails and trail lifts and things like that where they are. Then you got the contour map here. This is just showing you the height elevations differentials so that, if you're hiking, you could gauge how hard it's going to be. So if you don't need those, you could just take those off because it's just going to take up more space. And then you can see here, add to device download list. So this will just download to your watch. And then you could pick whichever area you want. You could zoom this in, you could zoom it out, and then also you could change it. So if you just want to do this, you could search for your city or region. You could just type it in, or you could just type in a zip code here. And, you click on that. And this is what the new map is. This I don't need to blur out because I don't live in Los Angeles. And you still got your options here, and then you could add a device to download list. So if you are, obviously you're going to have your home area maps into your watch the first time you do it, but if you are traveling or going somewhere else, it's just very easy to download a new set of maps. I don't know how many maps could be stored in there, but there is like 26 gigabytes available for you. So if you're not using it up with a lot of music, you should be able to store quite a bit of maps on there, and then you could delete these if you don't need them anymore. Okay, so I got my home area back up here, and then what I'm going to do is just download this. And then here you go. It says map resources are available. You want to download it. And of course, you want to download it. Oh, and then I don't know if I set up Wi-Fi on this. And so I didn't set up the Wi-Fi here, but it automatically pulls my local Wi-Fi that I have. And then for the password, it just directs me back to the app to enter it. So let me do that. Okay, so now it's downloading. And I'll obviously just edit this out and just show you the end of the download, but I'll show you every step here. Okay, and then you can see here, that actually took about, 2.5 minutes or so. That actually took longer than I thought. But so then now the map is successfully downloaded, and let's just check the watch and make sure it is. So now if we go into our map area here. So once you get the GPS lock, which on this watch is super quick, as I said in my full review on this thing. So that's where I am there, and as you can see here, it has, actually you can't really see, but a lot of the streets are labeled, and it goes down to the street level. So you know exactly where you are. If there's any trails around you, it will label those. And it actually is very detailed, honestly. Now, if you hit one of these buttons here, now you get the plus and minus, and now you could zoom out or zoom back in if you want. Then you can zoom back in, whatever you want to do. And then again, you could move this around and find a different spot, or, a spot where you're looking for. So you could also save a location and route back to that location, which is very easy to do. And then if you want to go find out back to where you were, you just hit the back button and, that's where you are. And again, you can zoom in and out with this thing, and you can move it around as you need to. And then if you have a path on here, it will show you the path. If you have a file that you save, it will show you the route on here. So that's it for the maps right now. I'll see after I use it a little bit when I navigate outside if there's any tricks with it or anything else that is hidden on it. But I think most of it is straightforward after you get the maps on here. But I'll show you also how to download the GPX file on here and show you how to do all that stuff as well. Okay, so I went through all the map features and tested how they worked, and I'm just going to show you what the features are now and how to use them. And I'm also going to show you a little bit later in the video how to get a GPX file on here so you can get your own routes and do that stuff right on the watch. So it does take just a little bit of work to get the GPX file on your phone, then into the Zepp app, and then onto your watch. So I'll show you how to do all that stuff in just a little bit. Let me just show you some more of the navigation features here. So let's get into any kind of workout, right? We're going to do outdoor cycling here. It's not going to lock in the GPS because I'm inside my bulletproof studio here. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit and get into navigation. So now on here, my route, if I click on here, I don't have any routes on here. I deleted them just so I could show you how to put them on. But once you get a route on there, then that's where you're going to click it to pick the route, and then you'll be able to follow that if you want. So my location, you can set any number of locations on here, and you just save it right here. So when you're out and about and doing what you're doing, if you're at maybe your destination or something like that, you could save that location or save any locations along the way. And then when you start your run or your ride the next time, you could actually just route to that location. So if you click on here, if I save it, and then you click on it, and then you could use this location. It'll give you the location details. I got to blur this out, but it just basically gives you the time and date and your altitude and the coordinates of it. And if you use the location, it's going to say, we're going to navigate to it. So now we're going to navigate to this location that you picked, and you hit go, and it will show you how to get there. In my tips and tricks video, I'll go into the assistant and the training and some more of the data things that you can change. But right now, it's just the navigation. So we're going to click on that. And then, again, we're going to scroll down here to navigation settings. And then the start point direction, you could change the front course or the back course. I'm pretty sure that just means if you're going, to the destination, or you want the map to show you're going away from the destination. But if anyone knows more details about that, let me know. But let's get back here. And then you could also change the navigation view to have it up north, or you could have it, going forward as pointing up. Navigation reminder, you could toggle that on and off. This will give you the alert for the correction of the deviation. If you get off, it will give you a little chime or a vibration, and you could set how far you want to be off before it will alert you. Then you could also change the route color, and this actually worked really easy. But the imported routes, you could change to those. Then you could change the color on the traveled route. Just click on that. Then these are the colors that you can pick. I changed this, and it worked perfectly fine. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to get a route onto your watch. It is a little bit of a system. There are several steps to do this, and there's a lot of different ways to do this. A lot of apps do this if you want, but I'm just going to show you how to do this with Google Maps, because most people are familiar with that, and you might even have some routes stored in there already. So let me just show you how to do that, and I'm doing this on the phone. You could also do this on your computer. Same basic steps, but you have to add a step because you have to get the file that you download to the computer, the GPX file. You have to get that onto your phone. That's just an extra step, so I'm just going to show you everything on the phone, how to do it. So first, obviously, we got to get into Google Maps. And I don't even have to blur this out because this is not where I live. You got to get into directions, and I got to blur out this because this has all my locations here. But we're going to just choose the location, and you just choose it on the map. So we could just move this here, and I could just pick somewhere, I don't know where that is, and I just hit OK. Then, again, I got to blur out the bottom here, but that's not important. Then we're going to choose the location, the destination. I'm going to choose that on the map, and I'll just scroll it down just over here, and you can move this to wherever you want, and hit OK. Now this is my map right here, and this is basically my route. So if I were going to take this, and this is my running route or my biking route or whatever, this is what is going to be saved. Now, very easy to turn this into a GPX file. So here we go. Here we got to hit share. And I got to blur out all this stuff. This would be all your contacts if you want to share their location to other people. But I'm going to just copy this to my clipboard. Okay, and now I'm just going to go into Chrome. And I just opened up a new tab here. And it's Maps to GPX. So that's how we do it. I'm going to just go into that website. And we're going to just open that up. And here we go. We're going to scroll down. And we just got to put our Google Maps link right here. And then we got to hit Let's Go. Okay, so now it's downloading the file. And then you could open it right from here. But if you're not sure exactly where it went or what happened, I'm just going to show you. We go into our apps and we go into My Files. And, if you have an Android phone, some of them might be slightly different, but they should all have some sort of file. Or you go into your download files. And you hit this, and I go into my downloads. Then I could just open this up. And then I'm going to use the Zep app. There's a lot of different apps you can use to open this up, and then you could save that GPX file to that app, and then you could use that app on your phone for all your routes, but those are not allowed on the Amazfit. Amazfit doesn't support any third-party apps. If you want to get the GPX route onto your watch, then you got to get into the Zep app, and this is the only way to get into the Zep app. You have to open it, and then you have to open it with the Zep app right here. So we click on that, and then we're going to open it up. And this is that little map that I showed you. Again, we're over in California somewhere. So this just gives you some details on the route here, and the distance and elevation and stuff like that. There's nothing else there. And then we just go into hit save. Now it's saved to my route. Now we have to get it onto, this is on our Zep app on our phone now. Okay, so now we're going to hit these three dots here, and then we're going to send it to the device. If you have more than one Amazfit device recently paired, then it will give you a couple to choose from. I only have this one working right now, and it sent successfully. And that's it for the phone portion of this. So let me just show you on the watch where the route is so you can find it. We got to get into a workout, and you have to go into the workout to actually find it. There is no other app to find your routes directly. So now we're going to scroll up here, and we're going to get into navigation. And if you remember, when I hit my route before, there was nothing there. But now I click my route, and there's my track. So let's click on that, and I could use the route, and I could do the route preview, altitude preview, slope preview, start point direction, and I could just remove it if I wanted to. Let's just see what the preview looks like. And there it is. I don't have the maps downloaded for this area because this is not my local area. Otherwise, your map would be on here. And then we're going to use the route. Now, if this was my local place, I would have the map, and then I would have the route superimposed on it, and then basically I would just follow that track. And if I deviated from the map, depending on how much I set it for, it would give me an alert and get me back on the track, which is, again, really a nice feature. Another great function is the route back feature. So let me just show you that. Got to go into navigation here, and then let's go down. Okay, so we want to get back to our start point. So wherever you started from, you could just click on this and it will take you back there. So let me just show you the different features you have. So if you want to route back to your starting location, you have two choices, a straight line return and a backtrack. So a straight line return is just if you're out in the woods and you're hiking and there's no specific path, this will just take you back a straight line back to where you started from. And if you deviate from that, again, it will warn you and kind of alert you back to on the path so you can get back to where you started from. Then the other option is the backtrack. So if you're on using streets just in a residential area, or if you're on a specific path on a specific trail, then this will take you back the exact way you came, which is really nice. And I use these, and both of these work actually perfectly. I use the backtrack more often just in a residential area, and the streets I took, all the turns I made, it just routed me back the exact opposite way I came, and that actually worked perfect. This is a really great feature, I think. If you're in the residential areas, you probably know where you're going. You probably don't need this that much. But if you're out in the woods or you're camping or, doing some hiking or something, this will route you back to where you started from so you don't get lost. And the excellent battery life on this is really important. Some of these watches that have this route back feature, battery might last a day or two or three, and if you're out camping for longer than that, then you might have some issues. So if you are an outdoors person, I think this watch is a great deal, and the features worked very good, especially considering the price point. Let me know what you think, and if you have any experience with this or you have any issues, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing, turning on notifications. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks on the Amazfit T Rex 3. Thanks so much. See you on the next video.